of ICT Professionals Ghana. In MTN, we promote affiliations with professional bodies. And so over the past years, we've invited several various professional bodies across all the business streams, so that all our staff, as much as possible, can affiliate themselves to one professional body or the other. So this morning we are happy to have our guest at the Institute of ICT Professionals Ghana to tell us more about the institute. I think it's a new institute, very new. Let's see what's in store for our ICT professionals. We'll have more of our guys joining us in the course of the session, and then let's see how we can build on this, build the relevant networks and pull from here. We have two of our guys from the institute who will lead the session and introduce us to the institute. I'm just trying to grab a quick profile. Mr. David Gawu is an ICT professional, started his career interestingly here with us in MTN Ghana. I don't know if most of you know him, Mr. David Gawu. Yeah, you know him, okay. I understand he left around 2005, yes, 13 years ago, and later moved to join Ericsson, where he worked as a consultant on different projects in Ghana, Nigeria, Zambia, and other countries. He's currently the acting executive director of the new Institute of ICT Professionals Ghana. He'll be doing this together with Mr. Osman Issa, who has a background in telecoms engineering, has been in the industry for the past 15 years, worked with Vodafone Ghana, Alcatel, Lucent, Ericsson, and also provided consultancy services to private and government agencies in Ghana. He's also a founding member of the Institute. This is Mr. Osman for you. So together with David, he will take us through the session quickly. We'll have a quick view of the Institute, maximum 20-30 minutes, and then the next 30 minutes will be used for Q&As. So we'll have the opportunity to ask questions at the end of the session. So let me hand over with a rousing welcome, MTN welcome, to Mr. David Gawu.
Thank you very much, Gloria. Thank you. I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to be back home. I started my career here in MTN, and then it was Spaceful, and we went through the transformation, Spaceful, Ariba, then Ariba, but unfortunately I left before MTN came on board. But I'm happy to be here because I can still see my old friends, a lot of them here. Today we are here to have a discussion. It's not actually a kind of presentation. We've come up with an idea to establish an institute for the ICT professionals in Ghana. So this is like a consultation, a meeting. It's like a town hall meeting where we'll discuss. But we'll start with the presentation, what we've got, and then we'll discuss it. You bring your inputs, and then we'll try to polish it and get the institute going. So we have a short video. We'll start with that video, and after that, we'll continue the presentation. The Institute of ICT Professionals Ghana is a newly established professional body for the information technology, telecommunication, policy and regulatory professionals in the ICT industry in Ghana and abroad. Our vision is to become the most reliable partner in ICT development. Our mission is to mobilize all ICT professionals under one professional body to positively influence the development, standardization, and delivery of ICT across Ghana.
Our objectives are to provide a platform for all ICT professionals to converge and network by building a credible database in the different domains of ICT,
as well as to promote innovations that will help solve our basic societal problems. The Institute is going to partner with government, businesses, entrepreneurs to look at new areas of job creation in the ICT industry.
We provide education to the general public on ICT and how it helps to improve lives.
The body is going to train and certify all ICT professionals in the various specializations.
Connectivity is happening with the laid down ICT infrastructure in place. What IIPGH is focusing on is developing applications to ensure that the available infrastructure is being utilized in different sectors, prioritizing agriculture, health, and business. ICT is a sector on its own, but we want to create a means to use it to improve productivity in other sectors.
Thank you. That's a short video from our members. Some of them are here in MTN. So we'll start with a short presentation about the Institute, and then after that we'll have a discussion. You will bring your inputs, and then how we want to shape this Institute. We realize that in the ICT industry in Ghana, it's fast developing. We've seen organizations, we've seen chambers formed, but the professionals don't have one professional body that can help advance the cause of the industry. So we came up with this idea of a professional body. It's something that we started. We want to discuss and get input from the professionals before we move ahead. So to go through the introduction, the objectives, benefits, and membership, the strategy, what strategy we're trying to develop now, and also the organizational structure, and how we want to fund the Institute. So this is for all of us, for all the professionals in the ICT industry in Ghana. How do we want to fund this Institute? We'll discuss that also. So the video already showed the vision. So we want to become the most reliable partner, because the human resource, the professionals, they actually start the ICT industry. Without the professionals, the industry will not exist. So we first want to mobilize all ICT professionals in Ghana. In the various domains. As we move along, we'll see them. We have telecommunication, we have information technology, we have ICT management, where we have some of our colleagues working in the regulatory organizations and other government organizations, but all working together in the ICT industry. I think it's better to use this. So the first thing we want to do is to bring together all professionals. So we are here to discuss, bring together professionals from the ICT industry, and then start networking. Next, we want to build a credible database. You see that today we have a lot of professionals, but we don't have the database to know who is doing what. How many professionals we have in the networking, how many we have in maybe core network, MPBN, radio, how many professionals we have doing, for instance, website development. So we want to first create a database, a very credible one, and then have different domains of professionals. Then we'll start with a database. We'll be able to discuss and also present professionals to the businesses, governments, what we can do as ICT professionals. Today we see that we have articles, most of the time articles written by journalists. We don't have a professional body that writes on ICT. So when there's a policy that's been developed, we don't have inputs from professional bodies, like ICT professional bodies. So we get a policy from the ministry that is circulated. We don't have inputs. We don't put in our professional advice. So we also want the institute to publish journals and also help in the development of the ICT industry in Ghana. There are a lot of young guys and even people who are very experienced in the ICT industry that are trying to do new things, innovation, developing stuff, things that can help us in the industry. But if we don't have an organization that can help promote that, then people will be working in their various small offices and rooms, and that collaboration will not be there. So we also want to encourage innovation. We know about jobs. If we have a professional body, we can actually lobby for jobs for those members. So MTN maybe is looking for some experts in some domains. If we are a strong professional body, we can actually present experts that can be employed. So the organization will not have to look elsewhere, maybe post so that people from all over the world will have to apply, but we can actually present experts from our institute that can take up those jobs. Then we believe that the professionals that are actually explain into details the way ICT works and how it can help improve lives. So our vision is that we should get to a point where the professionals will be able to explain to the general public some of these new innovations like mobile money, like some new things that are happening. How do we get this information to the general public? So it's again the duty of a professional body like this. So some people have been working for many years. Some, they got some training from work. But we also want to certify professionals. So among us, we will have people who will now sit down, create certification, and certify members. So we have certified members for various domains of ICT. If we are able to do all these things, we will now become really the voice of ICT in Ghana. So when we're talking about ICT, the institute will now be the first to be contacted. So if there's a new policy that's supposed to be designed, the institute will be contacted, and members like us, all of us here, will have input. So someone will ask, what benefit do I get? I mean, to be part of a professional body. I'm already part of a professional body, maybe some abroad, some local here, but what's really the benefits here? So we're proposing two types of membership. The general membership, that's anybody working in the ICT industry to become a member. If you are working here, it means you've gone through some level of vetting. So we don't need to write any exam. You go online, you register, you are a member because you can prove that you are working in an ICT organization. Then there's a specialist membership. These are people that among us who form groups, create standards, interview these individuals and certify them. So they become certified members of the institute. So that becomes a benefit because if you are a certified member, you can now actually go out there and say you are capable of doing this and you are certified. Apart from the certifications that we have, there are members here who are certified in international organizations. That's still okay. So we will be contacting organizations where we will now create links. So we'll post jobs on our portal so that we network. So when there's an available job, people are already working and they still want to seek other opportunities. They can get those jobs on the portal. Then we'll also organize trainings and certifications, like I mentioned earlier on. So there'll be training for members, and we'll organize workshops, seminars, and conferences for people to know new things that are happening. We'll bring resource persons to give us some trainings on new things that are happening, how we can be up to speed. continuous professional development linked up with training. So if you're working in an organization for 10 years, you still have to be updating yourself, new things that are happening, so that you get, you are current. There are some members also who, even as we speak here, they are trying to do some businesses that are related to ICT. With a professional body like this, we can actually have qualified members who can assist those people to win even bigger contracts than what they are winning today. So if you have a small organization, an SME, you're trying to get some job done, you are not comfortable going for bigger jobs because you think you will not get the experts to execute those jobs. But if a professional body, members, you will know the members, you will know their expertise, you will be able to tap into that and get them to help you execute your job. Then, these days, people don't get training before they are asked to perform tasks at work. But there are a lot of training documents and videos and audios that are available. So you are working on a project, or you are even sent to maybe Cameroon to do a project, and you don't have an idea of what's supposed to be done. With a professional body like this, we'll have technical support. So you can go to a live chat, you can post your questions there. Today we are doing it on WhatsApp, but we actually want to create live chat in various domains so people can go there and actually ask questions, seek support, and get their job done. And this also tied up to assessing jobs on the portal. So there's a live support, and there's also access to jobs, to documents on our portal that you can use. ICT strives on confidence. So today we know there are some group of people from some Asian countries, I only mention names. When we see them, we believe they know what they're doing, because we have formed the impression that this group of people are experts in this area. What we also want to do is to build the confidence of our people to the point where we can show to the world, and for instance, we'll start from Africa, West Africa, Africa and the world, that when you come to Ghana, you have a big pool of ICT professionals that can execute a job. So business owners will not have to come to Africa and think that I have to come along with some people from some other places to come and execute jobs, but you have experts here. All this you can do by just getting online, and then you have a free registration. So the free registration is for general membership, and if you want to be specialized, then you get into this, you provide documentation, and we can do that. But we have not yet developed this aspect. We're looking forward to getting members here to support us to form those groups and those societies that can certify members. For every organization, there should be a strategy. So this is our first year. What's our strategy going forward? What do we want to do? So first year, what we want to do is to mobilize members and also create a credible database. So we're looking at getting at least 3,000 members. Today we have a platform of about 350 members, and we have 225 members registered. So we want to move up to 3,000 members within the first year. Then the second year, we want to get to about 5,000 members. So these members will be classified, categorized into the different domains. As we move along, you'll see that. And also, you see, in Ghana, we have a lot of awards, but we don't have awards for the ICT industry because the industry is just maybe 20 years old, 25 years old. But we need to create an award. So we also have our annual awards where people doing small stuff in different domains will be awarded for the good job they are doing. So we also want to create that awareness that we have professionals in Ghana that are doing great stuff. People that are inventing things or doing new things. Then it graduates to third year where we want to move our membership to 8,000. We want to set up an ICT television. So today we have television even for religious organizations, but ICT that we talk about most, we don't have a dedicated television where we will showcase what we are doing, where organizations like MTN will also advert what they're doing. They will show people how to use their products and services rather than going to the main media. And also, we also want to raise revenue, because we can only do all these things if we have revenue. So we have some revenue targets there. First year, second year, we want to raise revenue of $1.5 million. We're asking, how are we going to do this? So when we get there, we'll have a discussion on how we want to raise revenue to execute all these big plans. Fourth year, we want to hit at least 10,000 members, fully committed members. We want to set up an innovation center where we'll get people who are interested in trying new things to get a center where they can try their things. So it's like a small center that people can try to do coding. Today, people are employing experts to do hacking, just to hack, learn to hack, so that when you can protect your website, because you know how to hack. You can actually protect your website from other people hacking into it. So these are some of the things we want to look at. Then we also want to do a lot of CSR, public education on ICT, how it will help the general public. We also want to publish journals and also get that recognition. So today, anybody can come to Ghana and call himself a consultant, and then you can move around and do some jobs. We are not actually vetting anybody to come in here. If we get a recognition, we can actually get people to be vetted. So 10 years ago, I was working in a country where I was asked that I need to be part of their professional body before I can get my work permit. So if I'm not part of their professional body, it's not possible for me to get work permit. But here, we don't request for that. We just say, okay, we need 5 people to do this, and then they jump in and come. Some, we are not sure whether they have the expertise, whether they have the background to do what they are supposed to do, but we allow everybody in. So when we get a recognition, we can now filter out those things and vet people before they come to Ghana to work. I've already spoken about the activities to be performed, so I'll just run through them. First is to mobilize. So what we are doing now is mobilization. Next, to create standard and certification. So we would ask members to help in forming these small societies. The societies we have created some. We don't have all the ideas, but we believe that members will help us create these societies. Then provide training and continuous professional development. It's linked to the certification so that we can get people in the various domains getting continuous professional development. We want to publish journals. So today I know there are a lot of people who can write, but they don't have, if you write, you just have to send it to maybe a media house. But when you have a journal, we write, and then we'll have a board that will review what you write, and we'll publish it. It can be on anything in ICT. And we talked about this already, to set up a structure for innovation, so that we can get young people. One of the things we want to do as an institute is to map students to professionals. So today we have people in the 4th year doing their project work. They are being supervised by their lecturers. It's good. But when you have professionals mapped to some of these students and you become a mentor and you help them to understand what they're doing, it helps them come out to be better or prepared for jobs, rather than just going through the academic exercise, come out and then start learning how to. So when I completed school and I joined Space Phone, I had no idea about my job as a cell planner. Completely no idea. I mean, I was just put in a vehicle and told that my friend, go and do a drive test. And I had no clue what's supposed to be done. But with the professionals, we can actually help some of these young ones to understand basic stuff before they start work. And we talk about this also, educating the general public. And also, we want to generate revenue. So today, there are organizations, private ones, that are doing different things. We can also come together and support those private organizations and also map out a strategy of how we can also get some revenue from those organizations. So this is an interesting part. For every organization, we have a structure. So we develop a structure. It's not complete. We believe that with the help of members, we'll be able to shape it better. So the structure starts with the Executive Council. The Executive Council is like the board of directors. So MTN has a board of directors. So we also want to have Executive Council that's board of directors. And then Advisory Council. The Advisory Council will be made up of organizations like Ministry of Communication, institutions like NCA, NITA, MTN, University of Ghana. So University of Ghana is an educational institution. So the heads will become part of the Advisory Council. ICT organizations that want to be part of the Advisory Council. So they give us input how we should develop the institute. Then we'll have the Executive Council will be made up of 11 members. We're looking at, for this proposal, our proposal is to have 3 top ICT executives, 3 women to be selected by ICT professionals that are women, and 5 members to be elected by members into that board. Then the board will now appoint an executive director, and then with the board and the executive director appoints all the first level managers, we'll call them directors. These positions from the executive director, admin, media relation, innovation, ICT, membership and certification, and policy and research will be full-time employment. So people who are interested would go through the process and then will take up this role. Then we have the working groups. Working groups members will be normal professionals that are doing their job. They want to support. They join any working group that they are comfortable with, and they support. We can discuss how it will be a part-time job where the institutes, based on our discussion, what we want to do, how we want to reward those members, we can talk about that. Then the ICT will also have 3 breakdowns. This is now going into detail what we are doing. So the ICT will have 3 breakdowns. Today we'll have information technology. Information technology, we have different societies. So under information technology, we have societies for VAS, software development, content, application, and all that. We'll have data services and different IT security, very important. Then we'll also have ICT management. Those working in, those who are managers, they are not managing any specific domain. They are managers in the different domains. They fall under ICT management. And also our colleagues from the regulator and government organizations that are related to ICT. Then we also have the telecommunication. It's also very broad. We only try to group them into societies. We can expand these societies as we want them to be. We can even have up to even 100 societies if we want. But this is what we've been able to put together today. So at this point, I'll allow my other colleague, Osman, to come up and talk about the funding and the rest of the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, David. So I'll do this. I know it's not easy getting an organization up and running. We don't have to wait. So now people will have to do something. And what it means is that people will have to put their hands into their pockets and start funding the institute so that we get to a point where we can actually raise the required revenue. So currently, we have about 12,680 spent. These are itemized. At least we got some people donating. So we got about 6,000. But of course, the rest, you see that is still in red. So we are hoping that people like Shakuru and other members here can support. David mentioned the targets in terms of revenue generation. We noticed that we cannot actually run this institution with only dues. So we have actually identified other areas of revenue streams that we can actually together work to make sure that we achieve the revenue. So we have the annual dues, which we'll talk about 38%. So we have foundation fund. So actually we are getting people to donate. So apart from paying your dues, you can also at least donate to the institute. We have sales from 7 years. Professional services, David mentioned it. So as much as possible, we will try to get a year, provide professional services to organizations so that at least we can get some funding or some money from them. Then of course we have voluntary contributions and of course corporate affiliations. Right? Next. Right, David has already mentioned the membership and the benefits. So promote a brand or product and services on our website. So we are looking at the corporate body. So if we have MTN, for example, being a member of the corporate, being a member of the corporate, so it means that we can actually promote MTN products and services on our website. Now, anytime we have corporate social responsibility, we can list MTN as part of the people or the organization supporting the institute. Of course, we have a website, we can display the logo and the link of MTN at the website. If we have workshops, of course, we can get these banners displayed at the workshop, right? And if we have a pool of membership and we have a situation where MTN is saying that, okay, we want these services provided, do you have some of your members who can do that services at a reduced cost or maybe free so that we can also support you? This can also be done. And of course, below you have the benefits that as an institution that we can also get from that collaboration. Right? So David mentioned it. The registration is free. I believe most of us have our cell phones here and our smartphones here. So the link is up there, www.iipgh.org. So what we are asking is that you can go there, submit your details, of course, the usual information, your name, your username, your email address, and of course, you confirm the level of your the education and the domain area you want to be part of. At this stage, we are also appealing to members, like we are trying to get the institute up and running. If you also go there, you have the opportunity to donate. Very soon, we'll also make the mobile money number available so that people can donate. But at this stage, even if you go to the website, and you want to donate and using your Visa or any other online source, you can always donate online. All right. On this note, I thank you. I think that we will now invite your suggestions and possibly your questions as to how to improve this. Thank you.
Yes, please.
All right, well, my name is Bernard. I want to find out, in Ghana we have Ghana Institution of Engineers, and we are also coming up with Ghana Institute of ICT. I want to know the difference between the two. Are you not going to, let's say, mimic what they are already doing?
Very excellent question. The last time we went to Airtel, that same question came up. Ghana Institute of Engineers is good. We like it. We love it. We have civil engineers. We have telecom engineers. We have electrical engineers. We have chemical engineers and mechanical engineers, all part of this organization. And we are not going to tell our members to move away from that organization. What we are saying is that, can we actually give some attention to ICT? To put it in perspective, let me give you one example. When I started my career, the then Ghana Telecom, Gosson, I saw Gosson a lot around. Okay, he stepped out. So we were the same team. That technology, now that Vodafone is using, they have swapped the equipment about 3 times. You get it? Now, when I visit my senior high school, Ghana Secondary School in Tamale, when I get to the physics lab, I realize that the physics lab is still the physics lab, and people are using it. So you realize that there's so much rapid change in the ICT sector. So what we are saying is that it's good, we should be part of the mother body, but can we give some attention? Once again, when I started my career as a telecom engineer, SMS you could only send among subscribers. There was nothing like app. Now SMS, where is it now? You get it? So can we get some attention for ICT? So we are still part of the institute, but let's give some focus to the ICT.
In addition to that, you realize that we are proposing that we come together and then together we'll utilize the knowledge and experience that we have as a group. I am a member of Ghana Institution of Engineers, but if I'm on a project and I'm struggling, they don't have any arrangement where I can get support from someone. So that is also a very big difference between what we are proposing that we do and what Ghana Institution of Engineers is doing. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, any other suggestion?
There is the emergence of the Chinese, especially with the telcos. So you see the Chinese always coming in with a lot of people behind them. Now, in your submission, you made mention of advocacy for local participation. What are you going to do differently? Because now I will not advise my child to do telecom. Yeah. Because the industry is dying out in Ghana.
Yes, that is a very good question. I have also a boy, 10 years, and people ask me, are you going to allow him to do telecom? I said no. Then they say, why? I said, okay. So it's like the challenges that you have mentioned. We have government, and government, they have development partners. And of course, the Chinese is part of our development partners. Sometimes we need money as a country, and we go out there to borrow or to seek for their support. The money or the support that they will give to us often will come with some conditions, right? So if we are able to put ourselves together, right, what it means is that we will have an input. Now, in making an input, in many cases, remember we cannot run alone, we still need them. In many cases, there's a component which we call the local content. So if we know that we will still go for the support, me and you can actually have an input where we say that, look, it's true that we will come to you for the support. It's true that we cannot do anything without you, but we want a local content part of this kind of agreement. Now, if me and you make an input to making sure that there is that local content part, it means that me and you will enforce that our brothers and sisters will be there. But as it stands now, if, for example, Ministry of Communication is going to have a project, and even there is a local content policy aspect in it, I don't know who actually, as we sit now, will enforce that that local content aspect is actually what executed or implemented. So that is, so it's all part of it. So sometimes these developmental part is a strategy. They say that there's an opportunity in Africa, they need support, but they give us the support and put those conditions. But me and you together, we can ensure that whatever conditions that they go out there to have with our development partners, at least our interests will still be protected. Yes?
Just to add a little bit, you realize that today the government is trying to do a lot of projects. So we have the Eastern Corridor Fiber Optics project, and we are starting the Western Corridor one. They're trying to build infrastructure, ICT infrastructure to the hinterland. But these contracts are given to vendors to execute, like you mentioned. If we have a body, an ICT body, with specific members that can do specific things, we can actually approach the ministry and say that, okay, fine, you want this to be done. We have X number of people who have the capability of doing this. So if you are going to execute this contract, yes, let them bring their resources, let them bring some of their experts, but then this number of people we can actually provide. So we don't have the issue of just mass importation of people to come and execute that job. The same thing applies to subcontracting, managed services, and all this. I've worked in a number of countries where we executed managed services. The business owner does not care who is coming to do the job. But if you have an organization that is able to put policy in place, you can get to that level. So we wrote to the Minister of Communication to introduce the institute. They've responded. We're going to meet them. So if we are able to organize ourselves, these people will have the data when they sit on the round table to have discussion with their development partners to say that, yes, we're going to do this. I have this number of people who have the expertise to do this. So when you come, make sure you exhaust this list before I see any other person. So that is the way we can go. We cannot go in a way of a union because it doesn't work in an open market. What works is if you are able to show that you have the capability to do. Any more questions? This thing is just starting. We want everybody involved. Everybody should bring their suggestions so that we can shape it.
If you look at consultancy, when I joined here, consultancy was very good. So a lot of guys went into consultancy. Now, you can imagine how many of them, a lot of guys are now sitting at home, no job for them.
Yeah.
So if I see you trying to bring something like this, it's a laudable idea, but I also want to see more of the advocacy role where policies can be shaped to at least help engineers in this country.
So just to add on to that, we have an organization that we have a lot of think tanks in Ghana. So I've been following one think tank for the past, I'll say close to 10 years. So they started, they've been writing, nobody listens to them. They will come to radio and talk, nobody listens to them. But today, when that think tank talks, government even listens. Because they've moved on a path of consistency over a period of time. And then now when they talk, government can present the budget, they come and criticize, okay, we think that the budget is this. And you see people moving around, trying to make some changes. So advocacy will happen if we are more organized, if we can show. If we go to the ministry today and we say that we have in MTN, this number of people doing this number of people doing this, and if you take the data for Ghana, we say that we have networking engineers, 250, and we go to the different software development. We have this phone repairs, those who are doing phone assembling. Some people are doing phone assembling. If you go to Circle, if your phone is spoiled, you go to Circle, you get some guys to fix it. But how are we bringing all those guys together? That's exactly the concept. The concept is try to bring everybody together so we become a force. Yes, sir.
Thank you. My name is Gilbert Belemetu. Mine is an observation. I noticed that the abbreviation is IIPGH. Okay, but on the logo, the H is missing.
Yeah.
Are we not creating a room for ambiguity? I have a second follow-up suggestion. It has to do with the funding. I'm just thinking, can't we also incorporate Google Sense type of advertising on our webpage? Because if I look at our projection in terms of membership, it's going into 10,000 by the 4th year or so. So with this kind of size, we can use it as a bargain with companies to put the adverts by the size of the website.
Yeah, thank you. This is well noted. I think it's a brilliant one. You want to respond?
For the Google AdSense, we will do it, but we need to build a lot of content. And you could see now we have actually bought a private domain and a server, and we have actually secured. This is some of the requirements that you need before Google will add you and give you the publisher ID. So it will come up. We'll have to send our site requirement to Google for them to give us the publisher ID, but we need a lot of content before we can start. Other than that, when we push, they will reject.
I think we forgot to mention this. We want to make entry requirements very flexible because it is a mobilization exercise. The first thing we are doing is a mobilization exercise. Get everybody involved and try to know what they are doing. So our annual dues is only 100 cedis. So annual dues is not required before you register. You register for free, and then you can pay your annual dues afterwards. So the expectation is that if we have more people, then even annual dues of 10 cedis is still enough. So we want to strive on the numbers to do what we want to do, and also focus on other areas. So it will get to a point where annual dues will just become a requirement. It's not like the way now you buy a SIM card as just a requirement. So sometimes you get it for 1 CD, sometimes you go to the mall, they give it to you for free. But when I was buying my SIM card many years ago, I bought it for 370 cedis. So we want it to be like that, so that we can get more people involved. The idea is Africa is divided into small countries. So there is a country in Asia, like there are 2 countries in Asia. One is 1.3 billion, one is 1.4 billion. Then the entire of Africa is 1 billion. But that billion is divided into smaller countries. So how the world is moving now, if you don't protect what you have, like what Mr. Trump is doing, you end up where people from the countries where they have the higher population coming over to take up whatever that is there. So in Ghana we have, okay, so the Galamsey is happening in the ICT industry. It's happening, but because we are not moving machines, so we don't see it as Galamsey is happening, but it's happening. So what we need to do is to mobilize ourselves, get people to know us, and begin to network, so that a manager who is looking for a resource will not think of going out there, we'll look into the institute and say, I need this group of people. Can you actually make them available? And they do. So we are beginning to move the jobs between us, or within us. Yes. It's open floor, please ask questions. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so we'll look at it, we'll modify it, we'll look at it. The initial design was to make it come out, so when you put the G there, the H there, it makes it smaller, but we'll look at it. Do you find the idea interesting?
To be able to mobilize all of us, because we are busy people. I don't know how we'll do this. Bringing everybody on board is going to be something difficult to do. How different are we going to do this to sustain this?
So, let's talk.
Winnie, thank you very much for the question. We know people here are very busy. Nonetheless, there are people among us who will want to share their ideas. I want you to know that there are a lot of people here who have very wonderful ideas. So when we talk about mobilizing, it may not necessarily mean physical mobilization. You get it? So people can actually join, you register, and if you're going to pay your annual dues, you can always pay your annual dues. But if you have something, ideas that you really want to push, that is a very good platform. So mobilization may not be necessarily physical, but I want you to know that there are people here, they have very wonderful ideas that they want to put across. David mentioned something. Anytime there's something, I've been involved in the ICH project, for example. And you notice that the articles that are going out there are articles written by journalists, right? So if we realize that you have very wonderful ideas, and you don't want to present your ideas as MTN, because maybe people will say that you're biased towards the other members of the ecosystem. This is an institution where you can approach the people, they take the article, take it through some process, and they can publish the article in the name of the institute. You get it? So that's why, so mobilization may not necessarily mean physical mobilization, but I want you to know that there are lots of wonderful ideas that people have that we can always push across. Yep. Any other suggestion, question? Okay, I think that it's been very wonderful. It's very exciting to always be with MTN. I think that we have some have provided here. So we have forms here. You know, we talked about the various societies. People will belong to different domain areas. We want to start taking details of people. Of course, we also have the registration, and of course, you can submit your details online as well. But of course, we will appreciate it if you can submit your details here. Yes.
You know, when you register, you have the opportunity to select your society. But what we also want to do is that we are now shaping the idea. So we need as many of you who want to volunteer in bringing in ideas for the societies. You can put your name and your email and your phone number here, and then we'll get in touch with you, and then we'll start the societies. So for instance, if you are in VAS, if you are in, say, radio, if you are in, say, networking, and you want to help us with ideas on how to start the societies, you can just give us your details, then we'll contact you.
Yeah. So we will be like, it will be a great legacy for us that in our era when ICT came into being, we actually mobilized ourselves and got ourselves a professional body. So 20 years from now, where we have new people our younger ones and our children coming up into the industry, we know that we have secured a standard for them that they can follow and that they can continue to develop. So we urging our colleagues to get involved and help us develop this. Any more questions, or it's lunchtime, people want to go for lunch? We have, I know I can see some of my seniors here. Maybe I'm going to give the microphone to them to talk since they are not talking. So I'm moving to the first one. Let me give.
My name is Said Mukhtar Abubakar. I'm with the MS, Huawei MS, well now with Reliance, but the services we provide, particularly from where I sit, I was just trying to find my way within the societies. I went online now to check. What I do is SLA management and processes analysis. So I was just trying to, yes. So I think just that's what I wanted to know, where my society would be.
So we see standards in the world are created by people. So you can all decide that we don't want all these things, and we want to do completely different standards or different societies. They're all created by people, whether you're part of PMP or CCNA or whatever. A group of people sat down and said that, okay, with this new thing, this is going to be the standard. And then they do it, they present it, or they start to publish it, and then we get involved and say, okay, we follow this standard. So we want to also create standards based on our needs here. Then we develop as we move along. I want to see that this in 5 years time will be different from what we are showing today. So we can actually add societies, remove societies, rename societies, as and how we want to do it. This is why we want people to get involved, so that they help create this standard. Because I'm not an expert in IT. So my boss there will have a better idea of what's supposed to be here than what we have put in there. So that we create this standard and we get our members to sit as groups that will certify other people. So everything there can be.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. As Osman mentioned, if you go to the Ghana Institute of Engineers, you do realize that a lot of professionals have been left out. And you realize currently in their registration, if you did computer science, they don't see it as a requirement to join the institution. Even though these days people with computer science do stuff, even though you didn't do thermodynamics in your first year degree, you end up doing engineering, and they still think thermodynamics is the basis of engineering. So they keep out a lot of professional engineers. So I think it's a good idea to bring out people in the ICT space together. And perhaps in the future, they might be able to merge up and take up one of the divisions in the Ghana Institute of Engineers.
That is very good.
Well,
I know that ICT has struggled to be of its own an institute, because I know we started ATEC, some lecturers started another group, I've even forgotten the name. I think Ghana Institute of Information Technology, GIIT, and all those things. And whilst we were coming down here, I was talking to my boss that we have been able to network computers and systems, houses, and everything, put it in the cloud and everything, but we are not able to get together, network ourselves. And that is a very big indictment on what we profess that we are. Bringing all things together, but we can't put ourselves together. So it's a good system. Everything that starts from the beginning is a little bit fuzzy, but I know from where we started from, if we put our heads together to do this, we can make it and we can establish it. Yes, ICT, if you go across the world, there are so many certifications. If you are looking at ICT certification, there are many, because it covers so many areas. But let's start with what is known, and then we move to the what is unknown, so that we use what is known to accomplish what is unknown. Yeah. So let's move on, start here, and then as the years come, I know that we'll definitely get to the point where we'll be fully established, and then rather have something like something that belongs to the whole Africa, and then we have a world body that focuses on strengthening and then uniting ICT professionals. Thank you.
In order not to hijack your lunch, I think what we have gone through is in the right direction. We just need to keep our focus, just like Kofi Annan said. An institute like that was started around the year 2000. We didn't really see it come to fruition, and I believe that is because we didn't give it much focus. So we need to give this one the focus it deserves, and then with time it will pick up. And we want to see ourselves go through all the 5 years achieving the targets we set for ourselves. We can do it. I mean, the knowledge is there, and we should be able to put ourselves together in order to achieve this for ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I think our time is up. So we thank you very much. We will contact you via email and SMS, and also we'll organize more of these town hall meetings. We are planning to have our first general meeting probably beginning or middle of June, because we are still doing the road show. We will move from here to Vodafone, to Tigo, and some other IT firms, and then we'll have the general meeting. We will circulate the information to everybody knows, so that we would get the constitution adopted. So there's a draft constitution we will share. When we have your email address, we'll send to you. Please give us feedback, your input into that draft constitution. Let's make it together so that in 20 years' time, we will sit back home and we will say that we have done it for the industry to progress. ICT has come to stay, and we need to help it to be sustained. Thank you.